game is too dang good. Call the police. Somebody, please. Arrest this man. Who do they think they are? I want them in jail. I broke the light. Did you see it flash? You know, I won this at an arcade. I traded tickets for this. Can't even be disappointed, to be honest. Ghost of Tsushima. Holy man. I have put more time into this game than I have put my life together. I don't have anything going on, and this has consumed me, and I figured I should immortalize that with some sort of creation that will outlive me on the internet. Sucker Punch Studios. I've called for a warrant on their arrest. I want them found so that they can once again create good games. This game has literally everything that I've ever wanted, ever. It's got fantastic story. It's got an amazing music soundtrack. It's got good voice acting / performance capture, I think. Yes, it's fantastic. How did they make this? How did they make this? I'm not even gonna get into this story today, because what I'm here to talk about is the open world. All I'm gonna say is that the story is amazing, and please play this game. The open world, oh my gosh. Even the side quests feel like main story quests sometimes. I don't even, like, a lot of people said that with The Witcher 3 when that came out. Like, people were like, oh, every side quest feels special and unique and stuff. I got bored with The Witcher 3, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I did not get bored with it. Dude, even these side quests, like, most of them don't have a happy ending. I'm just gonna tell you now. It's like, you're in it, man. Like, it is just wild. There's so much world building that goes on between, like, there's the fox dens and the shrines and the pillars of honor, and so many of these will have like little bits of story attached to them that, like, they're not for anything except to expand your view of the world that you are playing in. It is for you to experience Tsushima. They didn't have to do that, but they did that because they care, and I love it. It's all I want. But enough about that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I would be remiss if I didn't speak about the combat. I'm not one of those people that thinks that video games cause violence, but never before has such a fake act of aggression felt so good. Don't read into that too much. The combat is this perfect balance of complex and yet simple. I mean, like, it's the classic oxymoron, but for real. You're constantly switching between stances mid-combat. You're constantly being introduced to new enemy types with new attack patterns that still behave somewhat similarly to other ones, but they'll have, like, oh, this guy this guy's big and he has a mace, but oh, he's only gonna swing it at you once. Oh, this guy's big and he has a mace, but he's gonna swing it at you 3 times. I'm boiling it down so it's simple, so I can say it in a video, but it feels so good. There's the standoffs, which are like the best way to start off combat ever. It's straight up like that anime, like, where the sword, like, doesn't move and they're dead. Except it does move, and it moves gracefully as you improve your character and your skill tree and all this. The Mongols spectating the fight will get progressively more scared. You get later in the game, and bro, they are falling over onto their backs, crab walking away from you as fast as possible, just terrified. They will actually straight up run away. And that's without even touching the duels, which are probably the best thing ever. Cure for polio. All right? Cure for polio's right here. Right here, we've got Space Jam, the movie. And then right here, that's Duels in Ghost of Tsushima. What's this in our kitchen?
Aurora Borealis.
So let's get into the side quests and why they're so good. The side quests, as previously stated, are fantastic. And that is not something that I often say about side quests. I spent like 4 days beating the story of this game. And a good chunk of that was me just ignoring the story and exploring what Tsushima had to offer. And I didn't regret it for a second. They have this perfect way of you discovering new side quests as well. You'll encounter some Mongols on the road. You'll kill them all, and then you'll find that they had a hostage tied up, some citizen of Tsushima. And you'll set them free, you'll untie them, and then they will give you a tip about something going on somewhere, be it an outpost nearby that is the reason they got captured, or they'll tell you something like this one woman told me, which was that there was this dye mill in this one region where all these people were acting weird. You know me. I'm gonna check that out because I want to see if they're doing something fun and not telling me about it. And so I go out here and I notice this one guy immediately run into the house. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. So I go up in there and I try and talk to him, and he tells me to find the leader. Eventually I find him. And he tells me that he doesn't need my help. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. I go look around. This one guy shows me this house. It's got a bunch of bodies in it. There's a bunch of like hidden stuff. And then I find footprints going from this house to another like farmhouse a little ways down the road. So I go down there. Mongols have all these people tied up, and I kill all the Mongols and I free them. And here I find out these are the women from that little mill. And they tell me that this guy, this leader dude, sold them all out to the Mongols to save his life. And so I'm like, oh, okay, this little guy. I get out there, and I'm like, I got to deal with this guy, right? Like, there's no way he can just get off scot-free, all right? I killed him. He was a bad dude, you know? Never before has such a fake act of aggression felt so good. My point is, every side quest feels unique. They're engaging. And they honestly, for the most part, feel like they should be a part of the main story. Like, so much of it had that same weight to it. This goes especially for the quests involving your companions. Each of your companions has their own side quest storyline. They help you get to know Yuna better, Lady Masako, who, by the way, has an amazing quest line. Holy cow. Sensei Ishikawa, Norio, like, they all have fantastic quest lines. I honestly can't imagine beating the game without playing those ones. It feels like it's part of the main story. It feels that important. I platinumed this game, which is not something that I do very often. Certainly not within a week of the game coming out. When I was scrolling through all of those trophies and I saw one was to complete all Tales of Tsushima, I did not for 1 second doubt that I could do that. I was immediately like, oh, I was probably going to do that anyway. And I'm not someone who does side quests. I cannot stress that enough. I just realized I made myself a coffee and a Red Bull. That was a mistake. The first bit of discovery that I want to talk about is liberating Tsushima. There's all kinds of outposts, farmhouses, Mongol territory that you have to wipe out and liberate. It always felt so good when you would save a man on the side of the road from a group of Mongols, and then have him tell you, hey, I actually got captured about 3 kilometers that way down the road. There's an outpost there, and they're going to keep capturing people here if you don't wipe them out. And then immediately I would be like, don't you worry about them. They're good as gone, my friend. And liberating these areas isn't without its rewards either. A lot of the time they'll be replaced and restored. Like the farmhouses especially, you'll have families moved back in. But a lot of the towns that you can free as well You'll have like merchants there now, and like trapper. You'll have things that you can do there now. You can't get a quest from Old Man Jenkins until you free his farm. What's he gonna? He's not gonna be like, hey, I know about secret armor in the woods. He's not gonna tell you that while he's tied up by Mongols. You scratch his back, he'll scratch yours. That's how Old Man Jenkins works. All right, that's how the world works. In addition to liberating Tsushima, there's all kinds of extra bits that you will find along the way through main story quests, through side quests, and from just wandering. There's fox dens that'll give you more charm slots. You'll follow a fox to a shrine, you bow, boom, you got charm slot. You got shrines, which give you a fun little bit of platforming. They're probably my least favorite thing about the exploration, but I'm just not a big platforming guy. Although you do get a grappling hook, and you get plenty of use of that there. And like, I'm always down with grappling hooks. Grappling hooks always make games better. Bamboo strikes will give you resolve, which lets you heal, and later on lets you do some really cool moves. Hot springs will give you more health. Hot springs also give you a bit of story as well. Whenever you get in a hot spring, you're presented with a choice of 2 different things for Jin to reflect on, and it kind of lets you peer into his mind a little bit. And there's also lighthouses, which don't do a whole lot aside from get you that trophy. One of my favorite things about all of these too is how Sucker Punch uses color to distinguish them for you. Like, you'll be riding through a forest, and if you see a bright yellow tree, you know, oh, that's a fox den. Red leaves means a hot spring. There's little colored flags that appear above bamboo strikes. Everything is designed to stand out to you. One of the best things about this game is how beautiful it is and how beautiful its world is. And that is reflected in the design of the user interface, because there is so much that is not on the screen. You don't even have a sense of navigation. Easily one of my favorite things about this game is the guiding wind, just because of how genius it is. The wind is your waypoint. And the same thing goes for all of these extra discoverables. You can put skill points into making the guiding wind send you to specific ones of these. You can pick one for fox dens, one for hot springs, one for bamboo strikes. On top of all of that, a lot of the time when you get near these things, a golden bird will kind of swoop down nearby you. And if you follow that bird, it'll guide you to something nearby. Sometimes they'll also guide you to cosmetic items, but all the time they're guiding you to something interesting. And I love that. It's the perfect way to explore a world and to feel like you're exploring it without being told what to do. You're truly discovering what you discover, and I love that. Look at this. Are you seeing that? Speaking of beautiful, let's talk for a minute about the vanity items. You might have noticed that throughout this video, Jin has completely changed outfits probably like 15 times. That is because there is so much that you can do in terms of customization. There's all kinds of different armor sets. There's also tons of different dye sets that you can use to mix and match and to change the colors of things. You can look absolutely amazing. You can wear a basket on your head. You can be naked. There's something for everybody in terms of how Jin can look. I normally have like 1 or 2 sets of the way I like my character to look, and I stick with it, but I was just rapidly switching through stuff. It's fantastic, the amount of stuff that you can do. Welcome to Alaska. Lastly, I just want to say I've never played a game like this. If I had to compare it to anything, I would say it's like Shadow of War meets Sekiro. But even then, there's so much of it that isn't borrowed from either of those. Like, there's so much that's original with this game. I just absolutely adore it. And it's honestly a perfect 10 for me. I'm changing the name of my channel. I'm changing it. It's not going to be the Procrastinating Prodigy anymore. That's over. That's done. That era is gone. That name has never been an easy one to remember, nor pronounce. So we're getting rid of it. We're saying goodbye. It's going to be Sergeant Serial now. Y'all have 2 days to, I don't know, to screenshot the channel or something if you're really that attached to the name. I'm going to leave it until this video's out for a couple days just so that this doesn't pop up in your sub feeds and confuse you. because it has been like 2 years, probably, something like that. I'm changing it to that because Sergeant Serial is the name of my Twitch, which you should follow me on. I'm going to be streaming some Ghost of Tsushima on Saturday, August 1st. Come hang out and we can just vibe. I did a bit of a stream of The Last of Us a couple months ago, and it went pretty well until my internet didn't work so well. But I'm in a new place now, new internet. It's going to be great. I'm going to be streaming on there a lot more. So follow me on Twitter as well for updates on that and on when I'll be streaming. I don't really have a schedule to it yet or anything, but yeah. Bye.